What if I told you that a doctor removed the wrong organ during a surgery? Put up the picture full mass. The patient died because of this, according to the New York Post. William Bryan, on the right, an Alabama man who trusted his doctor, died on the Florida operating table. When General Surgeon Dr. Thomas Sheknotsky on the left mistakenly removed his liver. He was supposed to remove his spleen during the surgery. This is alleged through the widow's lawyer. Bryan was visiting the Florida Panhandle last month when he suddenly began to experience lower left abdominal pain. He and his wife, Beverly, went to the Ascension Sacred Heart Emerald Coast Hospital in Walton County, Florida. Doctors were very concerned about the abnormality in his spleen. That's according to the family lawyer. So they decided to admit him for testing. General surgeon and the chief medical officer, who was Dr. Christopher Bacani, persuaded the 70-year-old Bryan to undergo surgery at the hospital, or, quote, he could experience serious complications if he left the hospital. So Zerzart Law PA said Friday on Facebook, Bryan underwent the procedure on August 21st. Now, I got to tell you, it's already seeming like a sales pitch here, because obviously he does the surgery there. Well, that hospital gets the bill. He doesn't go home to his medical provider that he knows. In the middle of the surgery, the general surgeon removed Bryan's liver instead of removing his spleen. That's what is alleged by the firm. The surgical snafu resulted in, quote, immediate and catastrophic blood loss resulting in death, the Post read. After erroneously removing Bryan's liver, the general surgeon labeled the organ as a spleen, which was only identified as a liver after the man's death. This surgeon allegedly told Beverly Bryan that her husband's spleen was so diseased that it was 4 times bigger than usual and had migrated to the other side of his body. Let's put up a picture that I'm sure he saw in medical school. Now, I'm not a medical doctor. Most of you are not medical doctors. But we're familiar with this image. Inside the human body, the liver is located where? On the upper right side of the abdominal cavity. It's just below the diaphragm. It's above the stomach. Right kidney and intestines. The spleen is located on the upper left side of the abdomen, next to the stomach, significantly smaller than the liver, between 1,100 and 1,400 grams lighter, is roughly the size of a fist. Following Bryan's death, a medical examiner discovered a small incision on his spleen, which is believed to be the cause of the pain he was initially hospitalized for. Likely could have gone to his own medical provider if these doctors, did not convince him to stay there. So in the previous mishap, now this is the other dynamic here. The law firm claims that the same doctor, this same general surgeon, had a previous, quote, they call it a wrong site surgery, okay? This was back in 2023, where he supposedly removed a portion of a patient's pancreas instead of performing an intended adrenal gland resection. He removed a portion of the pancreas. That case was settled. The terms not disclosed. Beverly Bryan says she retained the law firm to get justice for her husband and is hoping the general surgeon no longer treats other patients. So let me tell you what the hospital said. So the North Walton Doctors Hospital, quote, disassociated itself with general surgery, removed all photos or references to the doctor from the website. According to the law firm, in a statement, the Central Sacred Heart Emerald Coast Hospital said it was investigating Brian's death, but released no further details, cited confidentiality laws. They are, when I'm on the board of directors for a major hospital here in Atlanta. When I tell you this hospital is responsible in more ways than just what you see, number one, you have a negligent hire here or negligent retention, one or the other, because this guy just did something similar in 2023. That was your warning. So you have that part. You also have the gross negligence. It is so gross in the negligence, it's not going to be covered under any of the immunity clauses that are provided to medical doctors who operate in good faith. And then he described the actual organ he removed, but called it the other organ and said it migrated to the other side of the body where the other organ is supposed to be. This is insanity. Where did you get your medical degree from? So anyway, we're investigating this. We're going to bring updates as they come. But this wasn't his first time doing it. And think about this woman, man. She's a widow. She's a widow now. She's a widow. And they trusted what those doctors said in real time. Please get a second opinion 100% of the time. 100% of the time. All right. Jackson, thoughts here.
I mean, how could this doctor have gotten it more wrong than he did? And the excuse that he gave, like it just got up and walked around and migrated to the other side of his body. Your liver is huge. Like, how do you mistake that for anything, especially considering you're supposed to know this more than anyone else?
That's right.
I mean, his excuse sounded like how, back in the day, doctors would just say women had hysteria if they like had opinions because their uterus would just kind of like migrate around their body. And like that people used to think that hundreds of years ago, that the woman's uterus would just kind of get up and just start taking a hike all over the body. Like, what are you talking about? It's 2024. What do you mean it just migrated to the other side of his body? And I mean, he looks just like you pointed out, like just nothing but a cheap used car salesman trying to make a quick pitch.
Yeah.
And unfortunately, this man lost his life. A woman's husband, I'm sure, I don't know if he was a father, friend, uncle, whatever it is, off of nothing. And your best excuse is, oh, my bad. I thought his spleen was his liver. Like,
man,
what?
Unbelievable. We're going to stay on top of this. We do hope justice is served fully here.